Hello. Yes, that's the astrology bucket you hear shaking. 4 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a general reading. Only take what resonates as true for you. It's meant to be helpful. And it's just information to reflect on. So let's begin. Pick one. There's something here that requires a step-by-step process, even though you kind of want to forge ahead and just get it done. Maybe you just want it proven to you that it can be done, or that it will be done, or that it's happening. But it's requiring some steps. And there's free will involved here. Because in order to get to this new timeline, you have to take the steps, use your free will to consciously move through some looping patterns that you've currently been in. Patterns of doubt. So look at what you've been doubting. What are you skeptical about? Because in actuality, in this universe, you can line up with whatever it is. But if you're having doubt, that's showing you a pattern. It's there for a reason. There's some sort of hidden benefit for you to hold the vibration of doubt about it. So what is that? What is the benefit you're getting from staying skeptical on this instead of taking the steps forward into something new and fresh? We've got the energy of brotherly love. A way that you've been feeling that's kind of getting old now. Your environment is a factor. Collecting some of the parts of yourself that are looping in doubt. And weaving a new story. Arachne is that asteroid that signifies spiders and the web that we weave, and basically this is just talking about the story that you're telling yourself. So the skepticism that you keep reliving and talking about in yourself is holding you back. It's going to take your free will to choose to do something about that, to either like resolve it, understand it, push past it, find out why it's there. It's an old way to feel. It has to do with some old feelings or some feelings that you don't want to feel. And you'll be pushing into an environment that you're not familiar with. Yeah, stepping into mystery, right? So this requires you to be okay with the unknown. And you're going to feel a lot of pressure towards this in the next 48 hours. So if you're feeling a lot of pressure, one way to alleviate that or to help yourself through is to focus on what you have to be grateful for. So can you be grateful that you even have a choice? That you even have the ability to make a choice for yourself? Have a little bit of fun. We got the life of the party. Have some fun and get into the flow state. Open your heart and then move from there. Look at it from fresh eyes after you've taken some time to play and have some fun. So remember, this is just information to reflect on, and that's going to complete your reading. Pick one. Let's go to pick two. This is having to do with a grieving mother. Anxiety. It could be grief and anxiety you adopted from a mindset that your mother passed along to you as well. But it could have to do with your role as a mother. There's a new way to think and feel about something that it requires you to look under the surface. And you may not realize, but you do have divine guidance available to you. It's just hidden below that anxiety that you're feeling. And that anxiety is just showing you a place where you don't trust yourself. So you don't trust yourself to handle a certain situation. And it could be a situation of very dark feelings, anger, hatred, resentment, something like that. So accept that you feel those ways, you know, like don't run from it, be present with it. Unconditionally loving with the part of yourself that feels it. And let yourself go through the grieving process if that is required, if that's needed, if you've suffered a loss. I think this is a loss having to do with motherhood. And maybe there's just anxiety about going forward in the role, or just facing people and things like that. But whatever you feel, the grief, the drama, the fear, the resentment, the hatred, the anger, the sadness, it's all got to be accepted and loved. It's like, accept that you feel that way, understand that there are reasons why you feel that way. And as a humanity, there are difficult experiences that we learn from here on Earth. And you have experienced some of those. Eventually, when you move through this, it's going to feel different, and it might even light a fire under you and spur you towards something. But first, it's a matter of finding your grace, meaning be graceful for yourself. Give yourself grace, which is care and understanding and peace. 1 week is a significant amount of time in what you're dealing with. Wow. But also 0 degree in now. So it's important to be presence above all. So when you're accepting these uncomfortable feelings, be present with them. It's not like a matter of accepting them and then distracting from them, or accepting them and then explaining them away, or accepting them and then moving on from them, but accepting them and being present with them. This is the time. Now is the time. There will be about a week's time of processing things like this. And it's going to require you to be present with very sad, difficult, anxious feelings. And this is what's been in your subconscious. It's coming up. It's coming up to be loved. It's coming up to be seen. It's coming up to be processed and accepted, so that you may find grace. Grace in the truth of who you are, in the fullness of who you are, in all aspects of who you are. See if we can get this to stop swinging. We may or may not. So with this camera rocking, I'm just kind of getting this vision of just like rocking yourself, you know, comforting yourself, but be doing it by being present. This, oh my gosh, this is the time to do it. We got 0 degree now and transit. It's like, start now and go through it for this week, because you're going to feel a lot different at the end of this week. If you just be present with what is coming up for you, okay? It's difficult, it's painful, and it's still something that you can be with. And you can just get in a safe space to process these things and tell yourself that you're not going to act out in these things, in these difficult feelings, right? Like, even if you were to get very difficult, scary feelings that make you want to, like, end your life or something, you need to promise yourself that you're not going to act on anything like that. Or if you wanted to lash out at somebody else and pass the pain along, promise yourself that you're not going to act in any way that harms you or anyone else. And just be strong and be present with these uncomfortable feelings so that they can be accepted and they can be loved and you can move through. But you're not doing it for the purpose of moving through. You're doing it for the purpose of accepting and being present with. Okay, so this is the guidance. This is the information for you to reflect on. Ultimately, it's up to you. And I do encourage you that if you do get scared, if you do feel like it's too much, that you do reach out and get some help. Okay? It's not wrong to get some help. But it's also not wrong to be fully present and responsible for your own feelings. As when you're ready, that's ultimately what you'll want to be doing. Okay? All right. This is not to replace any guidance, information, or care that you may deem necessary by a doctor or someone in the professional realm. Okay? Pick 2, that's going to complete your reading. And we're going to go to pick 3. Pick 3, you got special, hometown, Cancer. Your hometown has a special place in your heart. You're very nostalgic about it. You feel safe there. And it may be a very healing place for you to be. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the feeling that I'm getting is that your soul is from Earth. That, you know, you may be opening to bigger parts of Earth that you may not have realized before. That your awareness is getting bigger as you care for certain parts of yourself and learn to love yourself more and more. I think that you're realizing that there's a lot more to know and that it's just ever unfolding. Maybe it's like you're realizing there's a big, big world out there and you might want to go experience some of it. So there's a parting of ways. And it may feel like you're actually being cut off from somebody you considered an earth angel to you, someone who was very helpful and who was very healing to you. And I think it's worth saying that you would may need to go through a mourning process in that, and that you may want to have a lot of gratitude for the time that you did have with someone in this role of your hometown, in your hometown or close to home, or just someone that made you feel very protected and safe, and who you're now being cut off from and parting ways from. Someone who was very healing presence for you in your life. And it's time to start telling a new story. So what was the story you were telling about that situation? And can you recognize the new feelings that you have coming up? You know, sometimes we get touched by an angel and that's what we get. And then that angel moves along to another person who needs their help. And the best way to honor ourselves and the angels' time is to take what we learned and to give that presence and that love and that care and that tenderness to ourselves. So is there a different way that you can talk about the experience that is more self-loving and more full of gratitude? Can you notice that there's new ways to feel about things, and that the old ways are done with? It's like you felt a certain way, like maybe like you needed it. Maybe like it was your saving grace. But in actuality, you can be your saving grace, and this person was just there to show you this. You've been in a dense space, and that means that you didn't know the possibilities that exist here, and now you're open to them. And so it's like you can do a lot with those, and you can expand more and more and more. No doubt this earth angel didn't show you the way. This earth angel just broke you open to an aspect of what is here. And perhaps you've been very pessimistic about the whole process, and maybe just really hesitant to follow your urges, but it's like you have to follow your urges, and some of your urges are from your soul, not just your primal urges, but your urges of passion from your soul, something your soul wants to do. And some of the things that can happen when we are on Earth and we're coming from Earth and we're living amongst a lot of density is that we have to find ways to cope. And when we think that power and control are the currency, we can start to cope in such ways that require us to take power over other people, or manipulate other people, or coerce other people, or convince other people. And we may even think that our value comes from what other people think of us, and what other people get from us, and how many other people need us or want us or like us. And this is why an earth angel would come into your life. If you were dealing with energy like it was a currency of power to be played with. And you may feel like you're tricking other people by doing that. You're gaining the upper hand, and you're only associating with people who you know you are more powerful than, or more popular than, or you feel better than. And in actuality, you're actually, tricking yourself, because as you know now, after being exposed to somebody who has angelic frequencies and energies, you know now that that is a very low, dense way to operate, that it's not required. And you may even tell yourself stories and lie to yourself about what that means, what this earth angel was to you. But this earth angel was an earth angel, okay? So there's nothing this earth angel did that wasn't for your benefit. There's nothing this earth angel is doing that is tricky, that is self-serving, that is power plays. There's absolutely another way to operate here, and when you are blessed with being shown that option, and you don't want to take it because you're scared, because you'll have to process certain feelings, you might lash out at it. You might project onto the earth angel. You might even try to manipulate, but you're never manipulating an earth angel. An earth angel is operating on a plane that is above where you're operating. They can plainly see what you're doing every step of the way. And the fact that an earth angel would hold space for you to work through that. I mean, it's not that you were just displaying all of the patterns that you use to try and operate on Earth. You weren't doing anything to an Earth Angel who was here in your presence, because the Earth Angel is fully protected to go into the darkest places, to put chinks in the armor of the density of the coping mechanisms that are being used, that are perpetuating war on Earth, and that's stemming from a war that's within. And that's all about the story that's being told, and that was there because on Earth there were lots of reasons to be pessimistic, right? It didn't feel light and free and angelic like the energy of this Earth Angel showed you. But this Earth Angel was showing you something that you can aspire to, something that you have access to as well. And if you don't turn against this energy, you embody it, because this Earth Angel could only show you something that exists in you. And sometimes if you're at war, you might turn against that energy, and you might think it's too good to be true. But it's not. It's not. And if you've done things here that you know now that an Earth Angel witnessed you do, and the Earth Angel's moving on, it's not to punish you. It's not to say you were bad. The Earth Angel knew all along that you were just stuck in an Earth program. The Earth Angel is not moving on to punish you. The Earth Angel is moving on because others need help too. And there's only so long that they can be that presence for you. And it will wear on them to be in dark, dense places without breaks. So they have to take breaks sometimes. But really, this was an opportunity for you to integrate those parts of yourself. So don't forget the Earth Angel's lessons. You've been in a dense place. You've been living on Earth. Earth is evolving. You are part of the evolution. The darkest of energies can all be transmuted. And it can only be done by a very strong soul who wants to do it. And if you've been touched by an Earth Angel, then you have the option in front of you, and the choice is yours. And you can deny it and suppress it and pretend it didn't happen, or you can embrace it, or you can take it as the gift that it was. You can aspire to it, you can integrate it, you can understand that you were blessed with a bigger picture view, that the attention that you put towards that Earth Angel, which caused you much confusion, much going back and forth, much projection and much admiration and much confusion, was all meant to break you out of patterns that you were stuck in and that you couldn't see a way out of. You didn't even know there was an option until the Earth Angel came. Now you know. Now you know that in your subconscious is this part of you that has learned to be at war, that has learned to manipulate, that has learned to coerce, that has learned to lie, that has learned to gaslight, that has learned to be in power struggles as a way of relating. And this Earth Angel leaves you not to punish you, but simply to give you the space now to stop thinking that you're tricking the Earth Angel, so that you can actually do the work and take the steps that need to be taken to heal. Okay? There was a lot of things that were unclear, and it was done that way on purpose. Okay? And if you were spinning your wheels trying to figure it out with your mind, it will never make sense to your mind, because it's your heart that can make sense of it. Your mind will always, always, always run over the same thoughts over and over again, and will bury you in them. And I think that there was probably a lot of examples of that here. See, with this story, it's like you got to see yourself, because the Earth Angel didn't fight back. The Earth Angel didn't defend itself. The Earth Angel didn't tell you were wrong, defend itself, just try to correct you. The Earth Angel showed you an opportunity, and then you saw in yourself whether or not you could take that opportunity. And still, you have that opportunity to make the choice to break out of patterns that you're stuck in. Figure out what your values are. You know now. You know better now what's important to you, right? Some of the things that this Earth Angel embodied are actually important to you. That's why you noticed them. This bigger picture view that you know is now available, because now you see something that you couldn't see before. So now you know there's something bigger. And you have understood that you have gifts, you have creativity. With all of the stories and the swindling and the schmoozing and the negotiating and the justifying, you understand what a beautiful thing that your mind is. Now imagine if you start using it for good. Imagine if you stop being at war. Imagine if you put your talents toward creating something on Earth which allows other Earthlings, which allows your family, your loved ones, your fellow humans to see a possibility where there wasn't one before. What a beautiful gift. Remember, this is just information to reflect on. It's meant to be helpful, so only take it if it's helpful for you. Okay, pick 3. That was your reading. Okay, pick 4. Oh, Cupid. Harmonics. All right, being really in line, really resonant with somebody on a love level. And this is something your soul wanted to experience, and it also feels like a healing experience. Look at that. It's part of your soul plan. Wow. You'll be learning certain truths by how they feel. You can feel the truth of things. You can feel when you're on track. You can feel when you're in a cycle. You can feel when you've done this before, right? And it's like you're adding grace to all those cycles. You're adding grace through applying the truth to things, and then able to move from your passion. Wow, this is really beautiful. So in order to celebrate life, and this is because you have learned what you wanted to learn about being in a love relationship, about relating, about what it feels like, about what feels right, about what the truth is, and about how to get yourself out of cycles that you're done with. I think that you have really sat with yourself and got to know yourself along the way here, and that's why you can offer your best version to somebody else. You may still be cleaning up the effects of some of the cycles, so it's important to validate those, and so look at any place where your body is at war with your mind, or vice versa. It may not be fully clear yet, but even this is part of your plan, right? It's like this is part of what you wanted to learn too. And perhaps in looking for solutions to this is where you find that you get shot with Cupid's arrow. We've got 1 week as a time period. And I think what you're shedding is a self-doubt or something that you adopted from someone else. Like like maybe someone else's opinion or someone else's belief about yourself, your body, your health, how it all works, what's right for you, what's wrong, what you can and can't do, how easy life can be. Some of those things are the cycles that you're going to be breaking out of. And you are assured victory here. And we had Neptune, and then we have illusion and nemesis. So I think that it's like you've vilified something that isn't actually bad for you, right? So like, say, I'm just going to use this as an example because it's kind of ringing as a possibility. Say I was eating rice, and rice is not bad for me, but my body keeps reacting badly to it. And I dig a little bit, and I suddenly remember that somewhere along the way, someone told me that rice was bad for me. Maybe I was a child, or maybe someone told me that rice was bad for them, and I thought rice was bad in general, or something like that, but I forgot about it, and I really enjoy rice, so I start eating it. And there's this little war within my body, because my body's saying, well, why are you feeding me this if we know it's not good for us? And my body's reacting to the idea that it's not good for us. So I've made rice my enemy while consuming it. And in this way, my body is not reacting kindly to that the word is escaping me, that contradiction. Okay, so there's something like that where there's a false belief held that you are going to have victory over figuring out by seeing the pattern of it. And you do have angels around you, so maybe those that are more more wise on these topics, you may be able to consult with them. We have love. Oh, Earth angels are helping you with your love life as well. And Pluto, it's through some transformation. And this pattern of being at war within the body is stemming from an Atlantean karma. So it's a pattern that was something that needed to be resolved back from Atlantean times, and you had just agreed to take it on and resolve it. So, maybe it was like experiments back then where, the idea of something being bad for us, but eating it anyway and to see what happens, was experimented with. And, it can be vice versa as well, where people can eat poisonous things when they believe that they won't be affected. So our beliefs are very strong and important, and there's just something in there. It's like you're acting in a way that your body may be perceiving as not self-loving. So there's just this little kind of thing that needs to be untangled, because once you untangle it, then you can line up with your, Cupid's arrow kind of love. It's like then you're going to be lined up with someone for romance. And it may be someone who's in your friendship circle at this time. Yeah, it's been held off right now, because right now all that can come to you is just like you have that belief that something that you think is bad for you, but you're going to have it anyway. Wow. Okay. So, and it's also an invitation. It's like, this isn't just there, for the heck of it. It's like, use your creativity to create a new solution. There's a solution to be had here, because you're not the only one who does this, right? You're not the only one who has these kind of beliefs lodged in. You're not the only one who can't line up with their true love because they have a program that says, I'm gonna opt for the thing that's bad for me, or that the thing that the thing that I love is bad for me. You can use your powerful intention, your knowing, and your ability to shift energy while shifting your belief, right? You need to line up and balance the energy out in order to shift the belief. So we also have Zeus, commit, and jaded. And it's like, well, if you had a really strong pull towards like a soulmate and you wanted to commit, but you were jaded about it because it didn't work out, because it seemed like a Zeus character every time. It's like Zeus wasn't very committal, right? Zeus didn't commit. Maybe he did commit, but he wasn't faithful. And that could cause someone to be jaded. So maybe you feel like it's like something like that. It's like, well, the person I love isn't going to be true to me. Or, well, the food I love isn't going to be good to me. It's like it's manifesting from an energy, but it's showing up in your health because it hasn't been recognized in the emotional body. So it's just getting louder and it's showing itself again. And it's this contradiction in belief. You know, it's a belief that may stem from a time in childhood when you were forced to, like for instance, my father was of the mindset of power play relating, power dynamics and manipulation, and there was gaslighting and, you know, kind of things like that. But he was my father and he was the only one I had, so he was the only one that I could have in that role of father. He was the only one I could love as a father, right? And he came with this manipulation kind of thing. So from there, I would have a belief about, you know, someone who loves me and someone I love also being abusive, also being not good for me, also being kind of mean, also being someone I can't trust fully, right? So it's like being jaded about a commitment that exists. So it's like, well, in the example of rice, it's like I really love rice. I really love sushi, for instance. And yet my body gets inflammation anytime I eat rice. So I'm feeling really jaded about the fact that the thing that I really love the taste of is also something that causes me harm. So the dad that I really love and want to bond with also causes me harm. So see how this belief has to be rectified. It has to be fully understood. It has to be healed. And perhaps it's a matter of going back to a memory, if you can go to an earliest memory and collect the part of you that is still confused about that the first time it ever happened to you, the first time you realized that this was the case, you know, kind of thing. Go back to the scene of the fragment forming and the belief being adopted, and kind of relive it in the imagination and give yourself what you need and collect the parts of you that are still stuck there. And this is going to free you up to line up with someone, or, you know, that is loving towards you, that has a real harmony with you, that resonates with you through and through. Because all you're attracting now is people who could show you that belief that you have, which is, sure, you can love me, but I'm going to be not so good for you. You know? And I think the dietary thing will change as well when this energy is shifted and integrated. So remember, this is just information to reflect on. Only take it if it's true for you. And only take what's helpful. And I want to thank you for spending your time with me. And that will complete your reading.